Okay, welcome back to the Elle Sera podcast. And today we have Kelly Bond and myself, Elissa Corrigan. And we are going to go through the past year, our trials and tribulations from the year. Actually, we had a podcast guest due in today and they have cried off because they're poorly. So we just thought, well, let's do a nice wrapping up session because this session is going to go out at New Year's Day. Is that right?
Yeah, New Year's Day.
Okay, so we haven't planned or prepped. So I've just
Not planned or prepped. And can I just say, I look like one of McDonald's backing singers because this was the Christmas dress that I had in the back of my car when I got notification that our podcast guest couldn't be here today. So if I'm looking slightly overdressed, it's because I've got my best festive wear on the back of my car.
Well, I've got sequins on too. Well,
always prepared.
On. Yeah. Oh. So we've asked AI to give us a list of questions for today, and it's come back with some great stuff. I mean, who doesn't love a bit of AI?
Let's do it.
Okay, Kelly.
Okay.
What were your biggest personal achievements this year, and how did they contribute to your personal growth?
Okay, really, really easy. I bought my first house this year, and I know to many people that they think that that's like, you know,
no, that's
not that big a deal.
No, it is. It's a massive life achievement.
I feel like when I used to speak to, especially the old generation, they kind of be like, you know, well, why haven't you done it before now? It was always like, well, you know, why haven't you got a house yet? Or, you know, why aren't you married yet? There's always something else that I should be doing. But no, we decided last November we wanted to buy a house, and so I started putting money away into a Elissa, and yeah, we put in our offer. I think was it October? Yeah, we both moved out at the same time, didn't we? So yeah, October, Sean and I bought our first house and moved in. And what was the other end of the question?
How did it contribute to your personal growth?
My personal growth, I feel like I've got home. I feel like that, without it sounding really cheesy, I've lived all around the world. I've had my own little apartments, my own little flats, but it's very, very different feeling going home and opening the door and shutting the door and going, oh, this is mine.
And knowing it's your asset.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I was a big believer up until I met Sean of that, oh, there's no point in buying a house. You know, I'm just going to rent. If there's a problem, it's someone else's problem to fix. It didn't bother me in the slightest. And when we got together, I was like, oh, I kind of understand now why people do that thing of buying a home and having it as theirs. And even like since we've moved in, I think, you know, we peel a bit of wallpaper off and half the wall falls off. It is like the money pit. We've had blocked drains. The bathroom didn't have a shower, so we knocked the bathroom out. We didn't have a toilet for the first 2 weeks of living there, so that was fun. But I've loved every minute of it being imperfect, and I really can't wait. We've got a couple of days off over Christmas together, so we're going to kind of strip wallpaper and rip up carpets and pin out where we want to put extra plug sockets and stuff. And it just sounds really simplistic, but it's possibly like the happiest I've ever been, to be honest. So
good.
Yeah.
Also, my biggest personal achievement this year, again, I would say, yes, my house.
Yes.
Yeah, I absolutely love the house.
For anyone listening, you obviously got your house a lot earlier on in the year, but it's a big project.
Oh, it was a big renovation project. So we actually signed the papers and got the keys in May. We only moved in October, and that's because there was so much renovation work going on. And me and Danny had been together 4 years, and we hadn't actually lived together. Even though we had a baby together, we still didn't live together. And actually, that was something that quite suited me. I know that seems weird, but I liked a freedom, and I like living in the city centre, and I liked everything being there, and I was quite happy with that scenario for a while. It's obviously becomes more difficult with a baby, and you want to have a family, all of that. But that was a hurdle for me because maybe I'm a commitment phobe, I don't know. But I always felt like, well, I can do it on my own, you know, and I've actually had to relinquish a bit of that and like actually accept, you know, Danny's commitment into my life, actually. Yeah. You know, I'm quite the opposite to most women who are like desperate for a ring on their finger. That ain't me. I'm a bit like, shackles, oh my God, you know, that scares the fuck out of me sometimes. But I'm getting to a point now where I'm nearly 40, so that's kind of like changed, and it'd be nice for Grace to have her mum and dad together living in the same house.
No, but it's lovely. It's a family unit, and I get it. I spend an awful lot of time with you. We're together every day. I speak to you more than I speak to any member of my family, vice versa. And it has been lovely to see that, you know, I get you love the independence, but you've now got this lovely house. You've put your stamp on it. I mean, the leopard print bathroom is the stuff of dreams, I'll admit.
Love it, yeah.
If anyone gets the chance to go and have a little look on Elissa's personal Instagram page, I think there's a picture of it there. Was it powder blue leopard print?
Yeah, it's with fabulous chandeliers. It's like I took the inspiration from like Annabelle's powder room. I haven't finished it yet, and it actually turned out to be one of the most expensive rooms in the house, even though it's the smallest. The wallpaper is crazy expensive, the chandeliers, the artwork, the flat tiles on the floor. And I'm like, literally, this is just the guest WC, but it's, I love it.
I just love that we're yin and yang. My bathroom has got artwork of Spider-Man and Wonder Woman brushing their teeth.
Well,
that's how I roll.
Kelly would still wear a Disney friggin' outfit at 40 years old. And she'd probably still got like Sleeping Beauty pajamas.
No, I'm not. No,
it's Little Mermaid pajamas. Apologies.
No, I've got Wonder Woman. Belle's my Disney princess.
Right. Okay.
Yeah. I feel like I've got a lot in common with Belle, but Sean's not a beast, so we're all right.
Okay. So, question number 2: reflecting on the past year, what are the most valuable lessons you've learned, and how do you plan to apply them in the future?
Ooh, I feel for me it is organisation and future thinking. E-commerce was completely new to me when I started with Elle Sera. For anyone who doesn't know, I worked in events. COVID struck. You set up the company. We boxed up orders together, and I've grown with the company as the company's grown. So I knew nothing about it. And every day has been a learning day. But it's things like, we've just been talking about it then, you know, we talk about next Christmas, it's 12 months away, but I know that we'll be doing next Christmas planning in February at a push, because you need to be that forward thinking when it comes to anything business related.
And I want to do our Christmas shoot in September like every other brand does, instead of doing it in end of November, stressing out.
But that's it. But because of Elle Sera still being, you know, a relatively small business and us still being so in it and absorbed in it, we can have that flexibility of being a little bit last minute Larry with stuff, but we don't like to. I know that we both like to have it all planned and whatever. So yeah, I think the biggest one has been, forward thinking, organisation, making sure that, you know, decisions that need to be in place ready for 6 months' time are being made 6 months ahead. And this year's definitely taught me that. What about you?
Valuable lessons I've learned this year and how to apply them in the future. I wouldn't say it's a valuable lesson, but something that I've definitely taken on board is something like, no one's dead. It doesn't really matter. Like, for God's sake, can we all stop stressing out? So I feel like this, when I did that compilation reel, and I thought, God, I feel like I've not done much work this year. And that's because I used to push myself to the actually extreme before I had a baby. Actually, I've done quite a lot this year, looking back in hindsight, and we've still grown. In fact, if you want a percentage, it was 79% we've grown by, which is amazing in anyone's book. And I still feel like, God, imagine what I could have done if I hadn't had a baby. And that's the way I think. But I think the valuable lesson to me is, no, take the positives and what it is. You're going to come back even better next year, because now I've got a new kicker. I've got a new driver. Yeah. You know, Grace is my biggest motivator. I think, God, she's going to think I am the biggest loser if I don't get my shit together. Now, getting my shit together might be like leagues ahead of where somebody else's shit together might be. Yeah. And that's fine, because we all hold ourselves to different standards. But I know what I want to do and how productive I want to be this year. But also I've just been, I hate to use this word, but kinder to myself. Like, if there's Slack messages there that I know need responding to, I'm not going to look at them, because I don't want to poison my head with them while I'm supposed to be doing something with Grace or looking after her or trying to keep my eyes and concentration on one thing. So again, I don't feel that's a bad thing, but that's a valuable lesson, because I'd rather be committed in the moment to whatever the concentration I need to have, whether it's, you know, our marketing team or creative team, and having super focus in that area. Or if I'm with Grace, I'm not going to be present in both areas. I want to be focused on one or focused on the other. And I'd rather do that than be split across too many things going on in my head. So that is something I would definitely
I think we've learned a bit from our podcast guests as well. Because I know obviously we had Yusra on, and she was talking about that power of no. And I think that really resonated with me as well. Sometimes we can be a yes, yes, yes person.
That's especially not me. You are.
I'm a yes
you
person.
Definitely
well,
are.
I think even I've hardened a little bit. I've definitely taken a step back and I'll reassess, priority-wise, who needs to hear from me first. But yeah, no.
There's some people who like, you can help and help and help.
Yeah.
They'll never do the changes that you make with it. It's literally a waste of your time and oxygen.
But I heard 2 phrases across our podcast, and they have really stayed with me. It was like this, it's not your circus. Don't get involved. If it's not your circus, don't get involved. And the other one, obviously, everyone else says that you can lead a horse to water. You just can't make him drink it. So sometimes you can really kill yourself to be that yes person and give people everything that they need. But then sometimes it's never enough anyway. So there just comes a time where you've got to kind of stop.
I think a lot of people ring me up for like business advice, and I'll spend 2 hours on the phone with them regularly, and they still will not do it. They don't do anything that you tell them to do. And I'm just like, what's the point? No. What is the point? And that's, and you got to turn around and go, well, no. Yeah. And I haven't got time to do that. And then there's other people who you might help loads, and then you ask them to do you a favour. Might be something small, and they just, they won't do it.
Completely ignore it.
Yeah. And I'd just be like, right, see you later.
Yeah.
Gone in my head. Yeah, see you later.
Bye.
But yeah. Okay, so are there any major events or challenges that stand out from this year, and how did this shape your perspective or change the course of your plans?
You go first on this one.
Any major events or challenges? Couple of things for me. This is going to sound strange, but maybe not if you know me, but one of the biggest challenges I set myself was to get in shape after having a baby. And that has absolutely shaped a lot of my year, because obviously it's taken time, dedication and everything else. But it's really ignited, especially towards the latter half of the year, it's really ignited me and made me focus on everything else. I feel like this year for me has gone like this, down, flatlined, and then up a bit. At the end, I feel like I've just been chomping at the bit, and I'm getting back to where because I've had more support, more help in my personal life, and things, then it's enabled me to focus better. And definitely one part of that was getting myself back in the gym, because if I am not in shape and I'm not looking good, call me vain, call me what I want, and I've definitely probably got mental health issues and or past demons about this, about the way I look and stuff. That will then feed into every area of my life. Yeah. It makes me depressed, it makes me sad, it makes me anxious, it makes me have no confidence to the point where I don't want to do a live, don't want to sit here, don't want to do any Instagram stories, whatever. And everyone thinks it's vain, you go in the gym and you want to look better. Well, no, because it feeds into everything. Yeah. I'll be in a better mood. If I know I look okay in my head to me, and that then has a ripple effect on everybody else around me. Yeah. On you, on Danny, on Grace, whatever. So that's how important that is to me. And that was a challenge that I set myself, not only to, yes, lose all the baby weight, but my God, look the best I've ever looked, be the strongest I've ever been, and hit more PBs than I've ever done in my life at nearly 40 years old. And that is a big challenge. So for me, that was great. How about yourself?
I've got 2. I loved February, because February I did Strictly for charity. Helped raise £26,000 for homelessness with Shelter UK. If anyone wants to set themselves a challenge, actually, and you want to go and do Strictly, go and speak to Pauline Cox at Shelter. She'll sort you out. It's an amazing experience. It was really hard. I've got a past in kind of dance, musical theatre, and I thought, I'll be good at it off the bat. Yeah. I just didn't realise how different kind of ballroom Latin, that sort of dancing is to, step ball change and a bit of dancing to hairspray or whatever. And the weight dropped off me then. It's probably the thinnest I was at that in February. And it stretched me from a physical stance, but I just loved it. And I loved that feeling of doing good and raising money for charity. So it just encompassed everything that I enjoyed doing. So I loved doing that at the Blackpool Winter Gardens, dancing on the ballroom stage, and I brought home a glitter ball. So I was happy with that. But I think the biggest challenge, and it was hard because it affected work, was when I lost my voice.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, like I forget that happened. So I got I got told that I was basically bordering on getting nodules again, and I had them in the past. And for anyone who doesn't know what they are, they're like growths on your vocal cords. They can basically come if you've had excessive use of your voice, which is pretty much me on a daily basis. So there was like a good solid 2 weeks where I couldn't even talk to you. And it was really hard because you don't realise how much you talk.
Actually need your voice, I know.
And I felt like it was like the Little Mermaid. I felt like someone had taken my voice away from me. And I felt, I say this, I don't mean to sound flippant. I don't do the depression, the anxiety. I don't feel those awful low moods. I'm very, very lucky like that. But I felt shit because I just couldn't communicate.
Really, yeah.
And it was really hard. But yeah, I did it worked out about 6 weeks of vocal training and really being careful. And I'm still really careful now with like what I eat, what I drink, whatever, making sure that I don't get any kind of reflux again. But yeah, God, it really affected me losing my voice, which was really strange. But yeah.
What is going to be your next challenge this year?
Oh God, next challenge. I wanted to look at a walking one. There was a really, really, no, I wanted
Unless it's like the Pyrenees.
I wanted to do a trek. To be fair, there is one coming up with Nugent are doing it because I saw that they had just done Kilimanjaro. They're doing a jungle trek. I wouldn't mind doing something like that, I think. Because that is hard for me. I don't do that whole kind of long distance. Doing a dance routine for 3 minutes, giving it absolute beans.
Yeah, that's your element.
That's right in my comfort zone. Out of my comfort zone would be something.
Half marathon.
Long. Yeah. Half marathon. Well, we looked into half marathons.
I think you should do a half marathon.
The dates are horrendous. They fall at all of the worst possible times in the year. But yeah, it would be a half marathon. Yeah, it would be something very physical that would challenge me.
I think the Great North Run is a good one.
Yeah.
There's one in Manchester, or I've done Great North Run, that's Newcastle. Like Manchester probably, and they do a Liverpool one, but you're away for that because I already checked.
Yeah, well, this is what I mean, the dates were horrendous.
Yeah, and I think that would be a good one for you because it's something you hate. You have to do something that you absolutely fucking hate, right? So, because there's so much growth in that.
Well, I'll go and do a run and you do a Strictly.
Yeah, I can't dance, I'd be awful.
Go on.
Yeah. Fair enough.
Well, that's what we'll do. Okay. You go do something out of your comfort zone and I'll do something out of mine.
That's fine.
You've heard it here. That's Elissa saying she's going to go and do a Strictly.
Yeah, or I'm just trying to think. There's a lot of things that I absolutely hate. I don't know, crystal healing or something like that.
That's not challenging on your part. We'll figure it out. This time last year.
Amdram or something.
Well, this time last year, we both said, like, we're not going to do Christmas presents. We'll set you a challenge or whatever. And I said, right, I'll go and do a Strictly one. You didn't need any challenges. Bloody hell, you had enough of them on at that point. You had, Grace was like, 2 months old then?
I like thrive off hard challenges, though. I actually quite like them. They just got to be, I wanted to do Kilimanjaro. I was going to do it and then COVID hit. So I was like, fuck's sake, can't do it. Now I'm like a bit tied to having a baby, so I can't really be away for that long. Otherwise, I'd love to do that. Then I thought, I'll do Everest, but I hate the cold. I wouldn't last.
You actually do hate the cold.
I went
you
to
wouldn't even be in the office unless there's about 12 heaters.
I couldn't do it. I went to Jodrell Bank and they had this like heat camera and they scanned Danny and he was like full orange and they scanned me and I had purple hands. And I was like, fuck, I think I've got Raynaud's because my hands and feet were purple on this camera.
Really?
And I was like, that is like, I said, Danny, see, I'm not just being a whinge bag. This is why I hate skiing and stuff, like anything cold environment. So something like that would be a fucking real challenge for me. I think I would die. Apologies for interrupting this podcast, but I need to ask a favour. If you're enjoying this podcast so far, then please hit that subscribe button right now. I'll be straight up and honest that I want to see this podcast grow and flourish into something that I'm really proud of. And the only way that I can do that is with your help. So if you've ever learned anything useful from these conversations, then please return the favour by liking, rating, subscribing, and maybe even sharing it with your friends. Thanks very much. Let's get back to the episode. Okay, so looking forward.
Yes.
Looking ahead to the new year, what are your most important goals or intentions? How are you planning to stay focused and motivated in achieving them? So what are the goals and intentions for the next year coming up?
It's always growth. I think we've always said that, you know, we want Elle Sera to be, you get up in the morning, you have your cup of coffee and you have your Elle Sera. And that's, I don't think that either of us would probably rest until that becomes a thing, that every woman knows us. We are, you know.
I want to be
brand.
like the go-to for hormonal health.
Yeah.
You know.
And there's absolutely no reason that we shouldn't be the go-to for hormonal health.
No, I agree. So that is my goal. I have a particular figure in my head that I want to get to by the end of 2024 and reverse engineer that. And I think what we've learned this year is you can't rely on all one channel.
No, it's got to be a 360 approach.
360 approach to marketing. Meeting people has a huge effect on, doing the podcast has had a huge effect and like beneficial effect, definitely.
Yeah. Well, we actually looked, didn't we, and we saw the spikes of interest in sales, ironically being showed to us by someone that was talking about our advertising online. But every single time it was that we had put a podcast clip out, or we had been physically at an event unspoken, or we had done a live with someone that was relatable. And I've always said this, you know, you
can't build a brand off Meta.
No, and people buy people as well. And I think now 3 years down the line, the struggles that we maybe had in years 1 and 2, where people didn't really know us as a brand and didn't know us as people, it's completely different now. If people ask us a question and we gave the answer, they would be fully trusting of that because their mums, their sisters, their best friends, their bosses, they have probably said, you need to go and add this channel, or you need to go and listen to this podcast, or you need to ask this question to Elle Sera. So yeah, I can't see why there'd be any reason that we couldn't be the go-to.
Yeah, these are the kind of things I noted down yesterday, but I'm going to do a full 365-day plan. I want to bring out, I just said to you before actually, a new gift for next December. I want to do a photo shoot, a video. I'm going to actually say his name on the podcast so that 1, he listens to it, and 2, I want this to happen. I want to do a whole like ad campaign in Marrakesh with Billy Seberg, who I've been dying to work with.
We've been trying for Billy for so long.
I've been trying to work with him forever, so I'm not taking over a friggin' answer. So in Marrakesh, I'm thinking warmer climate. Let's do that in about May. Then I want to have like a UK staycation. I want to do more premium content. I want to do more events. And I'm going to literally list the things that I want to do on my whole plan. And when we're going to do these things and really reverse engineer our year. I've got a number in for subscribers. I've got a figure that I want to achieve in the next year. Yeah. I know kind of where I want to go.
Yeah.
I know the point of which I want to get to by 2024, 100%.
Yeah.
And I think if we just work backwards, we can make a lot of it happen. And I think we could make a lot of it happen well quicker than 2024.
Yeah.
If we actually, and I think we should be definitely doing what we used to do and write it down on the wall.
Yeah.
Fucking, it's going to be like some real Al Pacino shit going on in the office.
Talking about inches.
Yeah, we are going to be grabbing every single inch everywhere. I'm going to honestly
I just had a flashback though to that time where it had got to 1,000 subscribers and you sent me a video of you and you were just like, I fucking did it.
Well, that was hard. No marketing budget.
Oh God, I know it. It was hard.
Fucking
oh my
hell.
God.
Sold my soul for that. But no one knows what I sacrificed to get to that point. And that's when I commit to a goal and nothing will stop in my way. Put off having a family, put off everything. Like, didn't speak to anyone. Relationship came second. Everything was about getting to that number at any cost, by any means necessary. And I really was like Malcolm X about it as well. I was like, that is the goal. I wouldn't have been able to live with myself if I hadn't. And we did it with 72 hours to go.
Yeah.
And again, I know what target I've got for this year, and that has got to happen or I won't be able to live with myself. So we better get to work. Hard, but listen, I want to feel exhausted at the end of every day. Like, okay, I was just talking to Eilish and she was saying, why not be a bit kinder to yourself? And I'm a bit like, no, there's a bit too much of that. Let's be kind to yourself. It's all right. Have a bit of a self-care day.
Yeah.
Yeah. Avoid burnout. But sometimes I'm a bit like, if I don't feel that, you know what, put my head on the pillow. I know I could not have done any more today.
Yeah.
and you do that for 365 days, my God, you'll be 5 years ahead of anyone. If you feel like that.
Yeah.
You don't have to do it for 10 years of your life, maybe. But if you'd had 365 days of going, I couldn't have physically done any more today to push myself forward in every area, then you know you can go to bed satisfied. And there's a lot of joy in that too. Then, oh, well, I had a 2-hour bath this morning, of which I scrolled on social media for ages and watched a load of shit that's absolutely going to add no value to my life. And then,
Who's got the time for that?
And then, I watched this morning for 2 hours and I got back to a couple of emails and I did this, that, the other. And then, you went for a long lunch and then you got drunk that night and then you spent all day in bed the next day watching Netflix and binge 7 hours watching some season of rubbish.
They used to have this thing of like really glorifying absolutely killing yourself, and now it's kind of turned on its head where it's like, you shouldn't, it should be more about, self-care, and you should take it slower and you should be kinder to yourself. There's just got to be a happy medium. I always laugh if I'm responding to a customer at like 10:30 at night and they're like, why are you responding at this time of night? And I'm like,
so we don't have to do it in the morning.
You're fresh, you're in my head, you've got my attention, so I may as well just get it done. It does breed that culture of like, being immediately available to absolutely everybody. But while I can be like that, and while I haven't got children and I haven't got a million other plates to spin and I can just zone in on that, why wouldn't you just act on it in that moment?
Well,
and get
clears
it
your diary for the next day where you don't have to action it, doesn't it?
It makes space for more, but exactly. It's there's got to be a happy medium. I do believe in the whole being kind to yourself thing. You've got to listen to your body. There's definitely been times in the year where both of us have been absolutely,
unless I'm ill, then I'm a bit like, I don't know, like I'll be all right. You know what I mean? So, but I think that feeling of sheer satisfaction when I go to the gym and I'd set myself a big challenge, and I think to the point where I gave myself costochondritis, fucking hell, I couldn't have given any more. And I know that if I didn't get it, I couldn't have done any more. If you had a gun to my head, I couldn't have gone faster. Like, and I know,
but you had your body telling you like stop.
Well, only afterwards, I was like, "Fuck!"
That was not a good. That was not.
I know,
a good
but that's the point. So, like at that point, you go, "Yeah, okay, I worked hard enough then." But anyway, I think there's a lot of satisfaction and positivity and great feeling in. Couldn't have done any more.
I get that.
And at least then, if you fail at something, you then know, I couldn't have done any more.
Absolutely. I've had friends and family members who have had to save for 5-10 years to buy a house. I decided last November I want to buy a house, and I nearly did kill myself. I was working every hour. I was doing all kinds of different things in addition to Elle Sera to get that money. And that's why I think I'm so proud of the fact that we've got that mortgage, is because I know what it took for me to get that money.
Exactly. That's what I mean. And that's
just a lot of tears, literal.
And, if you like ramp it up, and there's a lot of satisfaction to be taken in that. And a lot of positivity. And has that had a net positive on your life? Yes, because now you feel settled, secure, committed into a relationship, and you've got an asset. And you're building wealth and you're building up your value. So 100%. Has that short-term pain been long-term gain? Yes, it has. And that's what I truly believe in. So whatever, be kind to yourself, crew. That's for you. Great.
Yeah.
But I'll tell you what, you're going to take 10 years, something that would take me too.
Yeah.
So, and again, then, whatever, horses for courses, but I am not here to waste time. I want to get to where I want to get to, and then sit and retire in the sun and do something else.
What about in Saint-Tropez? What are you calling your yacht?
Elle Sera. Oh, Elle Sera.
That was like the first day I met you. Yeah, so we're just going to grow this. It's going to be mega, and then I'm just going to retire and get a yacht.
I want to write my memoirs. I want to write books. That's actually what I love doing, creative writing.
There'll be a lot of very scared people out there if you start writing books.
I know, I was thinking today about, I was literally thinking on the way over here about something that would be a good sell, when you're doing the PR spiel for your memoirs and stuff. I've got one great story that'll sell it on, That's what, and I've already decided what it is. I've already got the evidence to back that up.
God, someone's twitching somewhere.
I know, So those are my goals for next year. I've got business goals, personal goals. I haven't really set yet. I want to have a nice holiday with the family. I want to do like a personal challenge, something, a charity challenge, something like that. Yeah, keep healthy, keep well, and hope everybody else is healthy and happy around me too.
Yeah.
Have you got anything else to sum up your year, Kelly? What has been your highlight?
I think there's nothing that really, really comes to mind because there's been quite a lot of them. We have had a really good year. It's been lovely seeing the brand and you win awards. It's been lovely to see Grace grow. It's been lovely to, I don't know if you feel a little bit more adult, really, I suppose.
Yeah.
Getting a house and feeling a little bit settled. They're all been highlights.
My biggest highlight is the fact that we can now say we are Elle Sera TM trademarked.
I was thinking, is she going to go there? Yeah.
Hopefully by the time this goes out, it's absolutely signed, sealed and delivered. And I'll fully have my trademark, which rightly so should have been happening 2 years ago. Actually pathetic how it got this far anyway.
Yeah.
And that'll save all the finer details for a podcast in itself. But when I'm allowed to talk about it. But my solicitor's a bit like, I wouldn't say anything else that might infringe. And I was like, shut up.
Don't tell Elissa Corrigan what to do. She won't listen.
I spent £14,000 defending this. I'm going to make sure I get £14,000 worth of marketing out of it as well. Otherwise, it would have been an absolute waste of time, won't it?
Oh my God, absolutely.
So that's my highlight of the year, I think. Definitely.
That's good. We can go and burn some copies of a certain magazine at some point in time, I'm sure. Yeah. It's been a bloody good year. We've done well.
We launched a podcast, and that's been the other highlight of the year.
Yes.
And long may it continue. So if you're listening to this today, can you do us a favour? We would like you to give us a rating, 5 stars, please, on Apple, Spotify, YouTube, wherever you do your ratings, wherever you listen to this podcast. Because if you have learned anything, then that would be the best way to give us a little thank you. You can leave a little review if you like, or if you've got any feedback for us and you want to share it with your friends. But basically, we want to make this podcast super successful. Doesn't everybody? What's the word? It's not worth the investment otherwise. But we want to bring you better guests, better people, better conversations, and just want to do the best job we can, really. And it just means a lot for you to support us. So if you want to subscribe, share, leave us a rating, that would be amazing.
Let us know who you want to hear from. I'm always really interested to see. Well, there's a few lined up for next year that have been at the recommendation or the request of our guests.
I know who your hero guest would be. Straight off the bat, it's going to be Jane McDonald.
I love Jane McDonald, and everyone keeps ripping me about it, but she's an absolute legend.
Who would I want to do? Derek More Plates, More Dates.
We know you want to do Derek More Plates, More Dates. It's a
not
bit of a
trying to make it sound seedy. I definitely do not want to do him in that respect. I just would like to have a conversation with him.
Yes.
And then there's a few other people that I admire who I would absolutely love to have a conversation with.
I think from a personal stance, I would love for Vicky Patterson to come on because we both share quite a lot of problems, whether it be endo-related. She suffers with PMS. I think that there would be some real good correlation between some of our customers and her own personal story. I would love for Vicky to come and join us. I think that would be a really lovely conversation. You've got Derek. I mean, let's be honest, let's reach for the stars. We want Stephen Bartlett to interview you, really. I would like a podcast. Oh, well,
that would be great.
I would like to see Elissa Corrigan on the Stephen Bartlett podcast, Diary of a CEO.
I don't feel like I'm not an expert in my field at the moment.
Where is the Elissa Corrigan I know that's full of self-confidence? She'd have been like, perfect guest.
Well, that is true. I feel like I'm about 3 years away from that though. And then I could make that happen. Yeah. Do you know what? In year one, when he first did his podcast, there's a guy who also has a supplement company. And I saw he interviewed him and I was like, fuck. That was the year to do it. But I was only just getting going then, so it's well
really
too
funny
early.
When it comes to Stephen Bartlett. He often puts on his social media looking out for female-led supplement brands, and we get thousands of people constantly tagging us. So one day he's going to see us and he's going to come to us. He's going to realise and get in touch. There you go. I'll manifest this for this year.
Just go knock on his door. When I was a journalist, if somebody wanted to meet, I'd just literally go knock on their door. I'd get made to do it, obviously.
I know who I want. I want Dave Fishwick. I want to interview Dave Fishwick.
Again, very accessible. I think he would.
But a very busy man, though. I dropped an email
but you
through,
haven't been
and it was
persistent. So, like, I always come from the opinion of, like, listen, they might be great, but they don't know that they want to meet me too.
There she is. Told you.
They don't even know. Like, whenever I've met any celebrity, they're like, oh my God, you met such a body. I'm like, yeah, but they got to meet me. And I've left with their number. So they must have thought I was great, or they'd never give me their number as well.
The 3 things that I said last year, I said I want to do Strictly, I want to buy a house, and I want to sing a duet with Jay McDonald. Now, the year is not out yet, so if anyone wants to make that happen for me, that would be great. Do I think that Jay McDonald needs to meet me? I've met her once. I was meant to have a full-blown interview with her, and then some woman who got pregnant to one of her songs stole my segment because it was more interesting to talk about than how I love Jay McDonald, and I sang her song at my nan's funeral. But
I think you'd shit yourself if you actually met Jay McDonald.
I don't know if I would. I definitely would have I'd have one of those fangirl moments, and I'd probably have a bit of a cry. But if she was like, should we have a sing? I'd suck it up and be like,
oh
yeah.
Oh my God.
It'd be like Judy and Liza, Jane and Kelly. Like we would beat that.
What would you sing?
She's written some beautiful songs. The songs that I love are The Hand That Leads Me is the one that reminds me of my nan. She wrote that about her own mum. And then she's written some absolute bangers. She just knows what to write, what to sing, who to pitch it to. She's just warm and likeable. She's the epitome of what an entertainer should be. And I just don't think we have another like Jane. I get very passionate about Jane McDonald. I'm sorry.
Well, Jane, if you're listening, you know where we are.
Jane, if you're listening, come on my podcast and let us hit the road with our duet show. But don't take me away from Elle Sera for too long, because, you know, there's thousands of women that need me.
Absolutely.
Okay, so we'll work on that. I'll get you your podcast. We'll work on Derek Moore Plates.
I'm going to put a hit list in the office of like faces that I want up there, and they can be audacious or whatever, and then some that are like completely accessible.
Joan Collins, we'll have to get Joan on.
Joan would be great, yeah.
We love Joan Collins.
Yeah. There's
Kim Cattrall. She's the girl. Yeah, she's the one that you want for Elle Sera. She is Elle Sera, Kim Cattrall.
Well, she's the one I'd want her to be a complete ambassador, but she'd probably cost me about 5 million quid. Which I'm just not quite there yet.
You're not quite there yet, but one day.
Yeah. Well, again, Kim would want to meet me, so... Yeah.
Okay. Anyone out there that wants to meet Elissa Corrigan, be in touch with me, customer@l-sera.com. I will make your dreams come true.
So, Merry Christmas to everybody. Thanks for following the podcast, and a Happy New Year. If you haven't set your goals and aspirations, go and grab a pen, go and do it now, and make sure your gold is part of your new routine. We love you. See you later.
Stay golden.
Bye.